Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring AI,
Okay,
copyright law,
sounds good.
and the ethical dilemmas
Yeah.
that crop up when these two collide.
Okay.
You might have heard about the tragic passing of Suchir Balaji,
Yeah.
a brilliant young AI researcher who died last month.
It's a case that really, I think, underscores the complex landscape we're
Yeah.
navigating right now
Yeah.
as AI rapidly evolves.
Absolutely, and it gets even more complicated.
Yeah.
When you realize Balaji wasn't just any researcher.
Right.
He was deeply involved in developing ChatGPT and GPT-4 at OpenAI.
Uh-huh.
But just weeks before his death, he became an outspoken critic of the company, particularly around their use of copyrighted material to train these AI models.
Yeah.
So to help us unpack all of this, I brought in an expert who can shed light on the nuances of AI, copyright, and the ethical concerns that Balaji raised.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's start with understanding who Suchir Balaji was.
Well, you're right. His background is pretty remarkable. Even before he graduated from UC Berkeley in 2021, he was already making waves.
Really?
He was a coding whiz kid, placed 31st globally in a massive international programming competition back in 2018.
Wow, 31st in the world. That's like the coding Olympics.
Exactly. And not only that,
Yeah.
he won a $100,000 prize in a competition sponsored by the TSA
Oh,
for developing a passenger screening algorithm.
okay.
This is a competition platform called Kaggle,
Uh-huh.
where some of the brightest minds in data science compete
Okay.
to create the best algorithms for real-world problems.
So he was clearly a top talent from early on.
Right.
And then he landed at OpenAI
Yeah.
working on ChatGPT and GPT-4.
Right.
For those of us who aren't deep in the AI world,
Yeah.
can you explain what makes these models so groundbreaking?
So GPT-4 is part of like a new generation of AI
Right.
that can process and generate human quality text
Mhm.
in a way we've never seen before.
Yeah.
You can have a conversation with it,
Yeah.
ask it to write different kinds of creative content.
Even code.
Wow.
And it's able to do all this with a level of fluency and understanding that's pretty mind-blowing.
It really is amazing.
Yeah.
But the training of these models
Yeah.
is where things get ethically murky, right?
Yes. To create these sophisticated models,
Yeah.
they need to be trained on massive amounts of data.
Right.
And that's where copyright law comes into play.
Okay.
The concern is that
Yeah.
much of this data includes copyrighted material,
Right.
like books, articles, and even code.
Oh, wow.
And using it without permission could be considered a violation of copyright.
So Balaji was specifically concerned with how OpenAI was handling this issue.
Yes, he became increasingly worried
Okay.
that the company's reliance on the concept of fair use
Uh-huh.
wasn't sufficient justification
Okay.
for how they were using copyrighted material.
Got it.
It's a really complex area
Yeah.
because fair use allows for limited use of copyrighted material without permission for purposes like commentary.
Criticism or research,
Right.
but whether training an AI falls under fair use is a huge gray area that courts are still grappling with.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Balaji, this incredible AI talent,
Right.
is working on these groundbreaking models,
Yeah.
but he starts to see the potential downsides
Mm-hmm.
and the ethical implications of how they're being trained.
Yeah.
And this ultimately led him to resign from OpenAI in August of 2024.
Precisely.
Okay.
He couldn't reconcile his ethical concerns with the company's practices,
Right.
so he felt compelled to leave.
Yeah.
And he didn't stop there. He went public with his concerns in a big way.
This is where the story takes a really dramatic turn, right? He gives that interview to the New York Times,
Right.
outlining his fears about AI and OpenAI's practices.
Uh-huh.
There's one quote that really stuck with me.
Yeah.
He said, the technology he helped create
Yeah.
could actually cause more harm than good
Wow.
because of how OpenAI was allegedly misusing copyrighted data.
Yeah.
That's a powerful statement
It really is.
from someone who was so deeply involved in developing this technology.
And his words added fuel to the fire
Yeah.
of the legal challenges OpenAI was already facing.
So before we dive into those legal challenges,
Yeah.
I want to back up and ask,
Okay.
what was it about Balaji's experience working on ChatGPT and GPT-4
Right.
that led him to these ethical concerns?
Yeah.
Do we have any insights into that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are no specific details about what particular aspect of his work triggered this change.
Oh, why trend?
But it does make you wonder, right?
Yeah.
What did he see behind the curtain
Right.
that made him so worried?
Exactly. And that leads us perfectly into the next chapter of this story.
Hmm.
The fallout from his whistleblowing.
Well, OpenAI has been hit with a wave of lawsuits
Oh, really?
alleging copyright infringement.
Yeah.
The company's being accused of using copyrighted material without permission
Right.
in training their AI systems. And this all started even before Balaji went public with his concerns.
Yeah. Even the New York Times filed a lawsuit
Right.
back in December 2023,
Yeah.
claiming that ChatGPT could essentially reproduce their articles without permission.
Right.
And that must have been a huge wake-up call for the publishing industry.
Right.
Can you tell us more about the legal arguments in this case?
Absolutely. The New York Times lawsuit really highlights the potential danger of AI
Yeah.
replicating copyrighted material.
Yeah.
They argue that OpenAI's use of their articles to train ChatGPT infringes on their copyright,
Right.
as it allows the AI to generate text that is substantially similar to their original work.
Okay.
What makes this case so significant is that it brings up the question.
Right.
If an AI can simply reproduce an article or a book based on its training data,
Right.
what does that mean for the future of journalism,
Yeah.
publishing, and the creative industries as a whole?
It's fascinating how Balaji's story intersects with this legal battle.
Yeah.
He was right there on the inside helping to build these AI models.
Uh-huh.
And then he becomes a whistleblower, warning about the potential harm they could cause.
Right.
And tragically,
Yeah.
just weeks after going public with his concerns, he takes his own life.
Right.
It makes you wonder about the weight he must have been carrying.
It's a sobering thought, and it underscores the need to create an environment where people feel safe to raise concerns about potentially harmful practices within powerful tech companies.
Right.
While we can't know for sure what led to his suicide,
Right.
his case highlights the immense pressure whistleblowers often face.
What's even more concerning is that Balaji might just be the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
There might be many others who are aware of ethical issues within these companies but are afraid to speak up for fear of professional backlash or legal repercussions.
Absolutely.
This entire situation is a lot to unpack, right?
Indeed.
We've got rapid AI advancements, ethical concerns around training data, legal battles over copyright, and the tragic story of a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
What are the key takeaways we should be thinking about?
Well, I think one of the most important takeaways is the need for greater transparency.
Okay.
Right now, we don't have enough insight into how these powerful AI models are being trained.
Yeah.
If we want to ensure they're being developed responsibly,
Right.
we need to know what data they're being fed and understand the potential biases that might be embedded in their algorithms.
Transparency is key. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But it feels like such a massive challenge.
it is.
How do we actually achieve that level of transparency in such a rapidly evolving field?
It's definitely not easy, but I think a multi-pronged approach is necessary.
Okay.
We need stronger regulations that require companies to disclose their AI training data and methodologies.
Okay.
We need independent auditing mechanisms to verify these disclosures.
Right.
And perhaps most importantly, we need to foster a culture of openness within these companies where ethical concerns can be raised and addressed without fear of reprisal.
It sounds like we need a fundamental shift
I think so.
in how we approach AI development.
Yeah.
One that prioritizes ethics and transparency alongside innovation.
Exactly. And this is where individuals can play a role, too.
Okay.
You don't have to be a programmer or a lawyer to make a difference.
Right.
Educate yourself about AI,
Okay.
its potential benefits and its risks. Support organizations that are advocating for responsible AI development.
Right.
Engage in conversations about these issues with your friends, family, and colleagues.
So you're saying that even seemingly small actions
Right.
can contribute to a larger movement towards ethical AI.
Absolutely. Every voice matters.
Yeah.
The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're all shaping collectively through our choices, our actions, and our demands for accountability.
Okay, so we need transparency.
Right.
We need individuals to step up and engage in these conversations. But what about Balaji's core concern? Copyright law.
Right.
Does it need to be updated
Yeah.
to adequately address AI?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
And one that legal experts are grappling with right now.
Okay.
Some argue that current copyright law, with its concept of fair use, is flexible enough to accommodate AI development.
Mm-hmm.
Others believe that we need entirely new legal frameworks specifically designed for AI, as the way it uses data is fundamentally different from anything we've seen before.
So there's no easy answer right now.
Not yet, but the lawsuits against OpenAI, particularly the one from the New York Times, will likely play a significant role in shaping the legal landscape for AI and copyright. The outcome of these cases could set crucial precedents that impact how AI is developed and regulated for years to come.
This deep dive has been quite a journey.
It has.
Filled with complex issues and no easy solutions.
It's true.
It's a stark reminder that technological progress, while exciting, can come with unintended consequences. And it's made even more poignant by Balaji's tragic story.
But I think there's also a glimmer of hope in all of this.
Okay.
Balaji's story, though incredibly sad, has sparked important conversations about the ethical implications of AI. His whistleblowing might ultimately lead to more responsible development practices, greater transparency, and a deeper understanding of the complex relationship between AI and copyright law.
His legacy might lie in pushing us all to think more critically about the future we're creating with this technology. It's definitely a lot to think about. We've covered so much ground today, from Balaji's incredible career and his growing concerns about OpenAI's practices to the legal battles surrounding copyright and AI, and of course his tragic passing. It's a story that really forces us to confront some uncomfortable truths about the potential consequences of unchecked technological advancement.
You're right, and it reminds us that at the heart of all of these complex technological issues are human beings. The creators whose work is being used, the developers grappling with ethical dilemmas, and all of us whose lives are being shaped by these technologies.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought. Balaji was worried about AI causing harm. What do you think is the biggest potential harm AI poses to society? And on the flip side, what solutions or advancements in AI give you the most hope for the future?
That's a really thought-provoking question. I think one of the biggest potential harms is the deepening of existing inequalities. If we're not careful, AI could exacerbate biases, automate away jobs primarily held by marginalized communities, and concentrate power in the hands of a few tech giants.
That's a sobering thought.
It is.
What about the solutions that give you hope?
Well, on the positive side, I'm excited about the potential for AI to address some of the world's most pressing challenges. Imagine AI-powered tools that can help us combat climate change, develop life-saving medical treatments, and personalize education for every student.
That would be amazing.
But for this to happen, we need to ensure that AI is developed and deployed ethically with a focus on fairness, transparency, and inclusivity.
It sounds like Balaji's story is a powerful call to action for all of us.
I think so.
To not just sit back and watch as AI evolves. But to actively engage in shaping its future.
Absolutely. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's a future that we are all creating together.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
It's been a heavy but incredibly important conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
And to you listening, thank you for taking this journey with us.
Thanks for having me.
We hope this deep dive has equipped you with new knowledge and perspectives and sparked some critical thinking about the role of AI in our world.